What's up guys, it's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. Today I am very excited to film this video because I am going to be talking about some of my favorite songs in 2016. I will make a playlist of all of these songs on my Spotify and I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to follow it. Now this is going to be in no particular order. I tried to throw in some from bands that I found out about this year, and then I also put in some from bands that it's pretty obvious that I like. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. The first song on my list is Keeper by With Confidence. I found out about With Confidence, I want to say, I think November of 2015, and then they were announced for Warped Tour in March, I believe, and I was super stoked. And then they announced they were releasing an album in June. I instantly fell in love with them. I saw most of their set at Warped Tour. I fell in love with the album. It was one of my favorite albums of this summer. Better Weather, I still turn on all the time, and as much as I like pretty much all of the songs on the album, I always went back to Keeper. It's just more instrumentally heavy, and I think it's more of like one of their pop punk songs on the album, and I'm really drawn to that kind of stuff. I appreciate the instrumentation in it. I personally like the lyrical content in this better than Voldemort. It is still one of their most popular songs on the album, but nonetheless, I love it. I find myself listening to it all the time. Please don't forget, all my friends are heathens, take it slow. The next song I chose, you probably guessed it, this is on a lot of people's favorite songs of 2016 list, and this is Heathens by 21 Pilots. The night the song was leaked, it was June 15th, and I only know this because I was standing second row from the barricade at the Emotional Roadshow tour in Boston when this song leaked. I fell in love with it. I found myself listening to the song non-stop for the next 2 days. Like, that was the only song I'd listened to. I learned all the words within literally like 48 hours of it leaking. It's very not typical of 21 Pilots, obviously, because it was written for a soundtrack. There's still clearly 21 Pilots twist on it, and personally, I like the song a little better than some of the songs off of Blurry Face. Do not give me shit for that. If you know anything about me, if you watch any of my videos, you know I love 21 Pilots. They're one of my favorite bands. I love all the stuff they have. I loved Heathens. It's just such a solid song. I haven't actually seen Suicide Squad. I know most of the plot, and I think this song fits in really well with it. Yes, because it was written for it, but also there is no way Tyler Joseph and Josh Dun would release a song that they wouldn't be proud saying is theirs. So overall, I love the song. Definitely one of my favorite songs of this year. I actually haven't gotten tired of it. I will still jam out to this so hard, and I love it so much. The next song I have is Knuckles by Moose Blood. Moose Blood is a band I got into, I want to say, June of this year. I knew about them before. I mean, everyone knew about them before, because I'll Keep You in Mind from Time to Time is such a legendary album. And I knew some of the songs, like I knew Bukowski off of that, I knew Gum, I knew Boston because it was called Boston. I'm from Boston. And then they announced that they were going to release Blush in August, and I was like, oh shit, this is a good band. I have to get behind them way more than I am right now. And I looked into the singles they had out from Blush. One was Honey, which is another one of my favorite songs. The other was Knuckles. I fell in love with Knuckles ever since the first time I heard it. I was so excited I was able to hear this live twice this fall. I don't know, there's just something about this song that I keep going back to out of the entire album. This is my most played song. All of Blush is absolutely beautiful, but for some reason I think it's the lyrical content. I love this song. This album is equally both cheery and uplifting while also holding like the deep emo themes in it, and I love that about them. When at first listen, you're like, oh my god, this is like a really upbeat, cheery, sort of pop punk, sort of emo kind of band. Then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, holy shit, this is some deep crap. Definitely go listen to this album. If you have not listened to Moose Blood, I would highly recommend. I only recently got really into them, but I'm so glad I did, so definitely go check them out. I don't know if I've been worse. I don't know if I can change, but right now, I don't think that I'm okay. The next song I have on my list is Okay by As It Is. I fell in love with the song the first time I heard it. As It Is went on their little hiatus thing on social media, and then they dropped this song with the album announcement. I'm so excited for this album. With the 3 singles they put off of it, it's still As It Is, but it's such a different sound for them. It's so much mature than their first album, and I'm really looking forward to it. Out of the 3 singles they've dropped, I like this one the best. Mostly because I have some close friends I've made because of As It Is, and I think of this song, I don't know. I think this is one of As It Is. This is one of their best songs. The lyrical content is awesome, so much more grown up and mature since their first album they released in the beginning of 2015. I'm really looking forward to when their next one drops next month. If she likes it, guess we just song, anyone knows me, this has been my favorite song off of this album since the second I heard the album, the day it came out. And this is She's American by the 1975 off of their second full-length album, I Like It When You Sleep, For You Are So Beautiful Yet So Unaware of It. Now, yes, this isn't one of the most popular songs on the album. It was tied with Change of Heart and Loving Someone for the longest time. I always ended up going back to She's American, mostly because it's just so fucking catchy. The song will just pop in my head at random times and I will start singing it. This song live was one of the best experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I don't even know what else to say about the song besides I'm in love with it, never gotten tired of it. It's consistently been one of my favorite songs off of this album. They're such great musicians, they're such great performers. Definitely go check out their second album. This album was just such a new change of pace and I love it. I'm in love with the entire thing. I could go on for hours, so I'm gonna stop right here. Just go listen to She's American. We can meet in the middle, bodies and souls collide, dance in the moonlight. The next song, I keep forgetting was released in 2016 because this band hasn't released like new music since 2014, and this is You and I by Paris. They released this in the stripped down version of this for their deluxe version of their album White Noise. I was able to hear the song live 3 times this summer because I did see them 3 times this summer. I liked it when it first came out, don't get me wrong, but I really fell in love with it when they played it live. Holy crap, this song is powerful live. Her vocals in this are some of the strongest I think in any of Paris's tracks. It's catchy enough and I get it stuck in my head. And also, I just adore this band to death. I love their sound. It's so different from a lot of the stuff we see in the scene right now. It's so good and they're so incredible live. Lynn's vocals are just some of the best in the scene right now and I am definitely pumped for their next album. I get my kicks and I want to start a rage here. I want to dance like I'm on the video. The next song I picked was Bang Bang by Green Day. This is their lead single off of their new album Revolution Radio. Green Day is one of my old school bands I listened to growing up. I grew up listening to Green Day and I continue to listen to Green Day. American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown are some of my favorite albums of all time. When I found out Green Day was releasing new music and when I first heard the song, I was so stoked. But when Revolution Radio came out, I was very, very impressed. And I'm so happy that it didn't disappoint me. I had to pick Bang Bang because it's been out the longest. I've been listening to it the most in 2016. It's so catchy and I love it. I'm trying so hard to go see them live next March. Please pray for me. Honestly, I would be able to die happy if I saw them live. Thrusting about your apartment, drowned on blanket floor and fading. The next song is my favorite song off of this band's new album, and this is Floral and Fading by Pierce the Veil. Basic, I know. It's different for Pierce the Veil, but I think they did it so well. The lyrics of this, like, fuck me up. I enjoy it so much. I find myself listening to this song more than any of the other songs off of this album. I'm so impressed by this song. I don't want to say Misadventures was a disappointment, because in no way it was a disappointment. I love Pierce the Veil. For me, it was pretty much impossible to top Collide with the Sky, as that's my favorite album by them. But they came pretty close, and Misadventures was really good, considering it was one of the most anticipated albums of 2016. Floral and Fading is the one song on this where I have to listen to it. Every time I turn Misadventures on, I always have to listen to this song. Vocally, it's one of the stronger tracks Vic has on this album. Because it's more slowed down, you can really pick out all the parts, Vic's vocals, or you can hone on the bass parts or the guitar parts. I love everything about this song. This is the one song off of this album that I think they could not have done any better. The next song I have is off of A Day to Remember's newest album, Bad Vibrations, and this song is called Justified. Now, I was obsessed with Bad Vibrations. It was pretty much the only thing I listened to for approximately 2 weeks straight. I didn't necessarily get bored of it, but I was just like, okay, I've listened to this a lot. Like, I should stop listening to this and maybe, like, you know, listen to some other things. As a whole, I did enjoy Bad Vibrations. There are some songs where I'm like, this album could have lived without it, but my favorite song, hands down, is Justified. I don't know why. Honestly, it's not even their best song on the album, I don't think. But I just kept going back to this. I don't know. A Day to Remember always have really hard-hitting lyrics. I don't really go back to much of the album anymore. Like, if I'm in a mood to listen to A Day to Remember, I won't go to this album. I'll go to Homesick, or even sometimes Common Courtesy. I had to put it on one of my favorites just because I still find myself going back to this song in December. Lyrically, I like the song the best. It's still a good listen, so I would highly recommend. My hands are numb because it's getting colder quicker. You need next song is Colder Quicker by Real Friends. I decided to put Colder Quicker mostly because of the meaning behind this song. I've seen Real Friends 4 times this year. Each time they have played it, each time I have loved the song even more and more. When I last saw them in Boston, Dan would always make like a little speech saying what the song was about, how he wishes he could have gotten over himself to get close to someone else, and you can tell by the lyrics of this, it's such a basic sad boy emo pop punk song, but I love the song so much and I connect with it so much. It wasn't my favorite until I saw it live in Boston. I was sort of in the pit at the concert. I was crowd surfing and I was having a fun time. He slowed things down and he made the speech, and I was standing in front of my friends with like tears rolling down my face. I'm like, guys, why am I crying? This isn't supposed to be an emotional concert. The crying set was during Moose Blood and I was done. Like, I've connected to the song the most in this entire album. One of the best songs off the album in my opinion. The lyrics aren't like the deepest thing ever, but the overall arching theme of the song is really what gets me.
I'm the last thing you'd remember. It's been a long, lonely December. Shutting up that west is more.
The next song I picked is actually sort of like a remix of a song that came out in 2015. And this is December Again, featuring Mark Hoppus by Neck Deep. This is pretty much like the full band version of December, and they have Mark Hoppus singing the bridge. December was already one of my favorite songs off of the album, and when they played it in March and they didn't play it acoustic, I was sort of upset. December Again, I don't know, maybe because it's Mark Hoppus, and Mark Hoppus just sort of has the voice of the scene that everyone knows, everyone recognizes. The full band version has really grown on me. I've heard it live 3 times and it's just overall a really good song. I like that they re-released it with Mark Hoppus in it instead of just re-releasing it as a full band version. I mean, if you haven't heard of Neck Deep, first of all, how everyone talks about them nowadays. Second of all, Life's Not As Get You. One of the best pop punk albums probably of this decade, in my opinion, of course. Check out December Again because it's honestly a very enjoyable listen.
No, not scared, but sad to say the least. My guard fell down.
The next song I chose is from a band I did not get into again until about probably like January of 2016, and this is Like Pacific. And the song is Distant, off of their debut album, Distant Like You Asked. I only really got into Like Pacific because they were touring with State Champs, Knuckle Puck, and Neck Deep. I'm like, okay, this band is opening up for them, this is a killer lineup, so I should check them out. And I checked them out, they released an album, and I was blown away. One of the most underrated pop punk bands in the scene right now, and they definitely deserve a lot more recognition than they're getting. They were on Warped Tour this year. They're incredible live. The energy they have on stage is so great. I chose the title track mostly because it was the first song I heard by them, and when I saw them it was the only song I knew the words to, so I was having a fantastic time. And I wish I was more into this album and this band than I am. And this song is a pretty good representation of the album as a whole, so if you're to listen to one song off of this album, definitely listen to Distant.
I can't even count the times I sat up on these scribbled lines. Tell me won't you stay awake for me.
The next song is Hawaii, Stay Awake by Water Parks. Double Dare just recently came out. They released Hawaii halfway through September. It was their second single off of their album. Since the first time I heard it, I remember I saved it on Spotify and I'm like, oh, I should check this out because I really like Water Parks and the new album's coming out. Since the second I heard it, I was totally hooked. It starts off with like a really electronic, synthy kind of intro. Overall, the songs get stuck in my head literally every single day. There hasn't been a day since this song came out where some part of the song hasn't been stuck in my head, but I can't complain because I love the song so much. It has consistently been my favorite song off of this album since it came out. The chorus is so much fun. The lyrics aren't like the deepest shit ever, but it's just so much fun and catchy. Water Parks is bringing such a new taste to like pop and pop punk in the scene, adding like all of the synth elements in it. I really enjoy it. I love it so much. Overall, I will probably never get tired of this song. Definitely go check it out.
So I will try.
The next song I have is off of another one of my favorite albums of 2016, video coming soon. This is Slow Me Down by Issues. I was not going to put this one on. They came out with their music video for Slow Me Down, and holy shit, it's like watching an entire action movie in less than 5 minutes. Guys, go check out this music video. I will link it down below for you, and I almost never link stuff down below. It is so well done. Whoever directed and produced this video, I applaud you so much. This is one of the best music videos I've ever seen. This music video made me love the song so much more than I already did. And honestly, that's what a good music video can do. I've listened to the song so many times since I've seen this music video. The video really opened my eyes on how great of a song Slow Me Down is. Some of the strongest vocals Tyler Carter has out of all the songs off of Headspace. I love it. It's great. It's fantastic. Definitely go give it a listen. last song I have on this list is LA Devotee by Panic at the Disco. I always forget Death of a Bachelor was released in 2016 because it was at the very beginning of 2016. This is arguably one of the best songs, lyrically and musically, Panic at the Disco have released probably since Pretty Odd or Vices and Virtues. Better than every single song off of Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die. So good. It's so amazing. It's so strong. It's so catchy. Everything about a good Panic at the Disco song is in this song. Some of Brendan's best vocal performances in the album. People say it's fantastic live. Definitely my favorite song off of Death of a Bachelor. There's a lot of talk about how Death of a Bachelor is one of their worst albums. Songs like LA Devotee and Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time and Death of a Bachelor keep this album relevant for the people who don't like it. Very worthwhile because those are some of the best songs on the album. So that's 15 of my favorite songs of 2016. Like I said, in no particular order because it would take me way too long to pick an order and then I would just get really indecisive about the order. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your favorite songs of 2016 are. I'm really curious. In my opinion, there's just a ton of good music that came out in 2016, and it was pretty hard for me to choose. If I chose any more, this video would be like an hour long. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want, you can follow me on all my social media down below. So that would be cool. If you're new here, hi, my name is Caitlin, and I like to talk about music. So if you liked the video you saw today, make sure to subscribe down below. If you subscribe, then you'll see every time I upload a video. Like I said before, stay tuned for my top albums of 2016 list, and I'll also be doing a top music videos of 2016 list. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!